I personally am a huge user of supportive gear. If you have the money and you want to buy them, go for it. But please understand what is the reasoning for why you're buying supportive gear. Do you actually need it for your workouts, or are you just purchasing them because you see everyone else using it? What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you miss on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now this video, we're talking about the bodybuilders, we're talking about the powerlifters, we're talking about the strongmen, and occasionally the CrossFitters, high rocks athletes, if y'all be using this stuff. Supportive gear. There is a very select few people in the gym that actually go ahead and buy every imaginable accessory you can think of in hopes of either A, improving their form, or B, increasing the amount of weight that they're lifting. I'm talking about knee sleeves, wraps, straps, any piece of stretchy fabric that you could put on you. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. There's a lot of people out there. They just buy everything for the most generic warm-up lift. They got everything you could think of. The shoes, the sleeves, the belts, the straps, the chalk, everything. Is it overboard? For some people it can be. For others, they don't even understand what all this stuff is for, so they don't even wear it. There is a time and place for wearing supportive gear in your workouts. Me personally, I am a huge user. You look at any one of my workout videos, I got at least one piece of supportive gear on. But the difference between me and others is I actually understand what they're for, and there's only specific points in that given exercise to which I'm actually going to be using it. I don't keep this stuff on the entire workouts. It's only for a select few sets, and it's only for a select few exercises. Now, the whole idea behind putting this video together was because one day I was just on TikTok scrolling, and obviously, you know, being a gym bro, most of your feed is all gym content, but I came across this one post and it really stood out. And I'm all like, I understand what the person is trying to say, but if you look at the comments, obviously others didn't take it that way. You know, there's haters everywhere. Everyone's always going to be posting their hate comments. But for this person about earning the right to use these pieces of equipment, this supportive gear, I understand what it is that he's trying to say. I just don't think it was delivered very clearly for other people to understand. After seeing that, I get it. What he's really trying to say is, or at least what I think he's trying to say, because again, I am someone who uses stuff. I am experienced in the gym. I know, you know, what this stuff is for, is don't just throw it on if you're a beginner. Don't just throw on all these stretchy fabrics, all these leather belts and everything just because you see other people using it. Build up your own foundation. Focus on your technique. Learn how to properly breathe and brace. Know how to contract the right muscles. Once you maximize that, then go ahead and start seeing where your weak links are. Then start throwing on select pieces of equipment to help aid in those. But don't use it as a band-aid to fix a problem and not address the underlying reason. So right here, right next to me, I got 2 stacks of supportive gear. All of these things I use without a doubt. But this stack right here is the stuff that I believe 100% everyone can benefit from at one point or another, and it's the common ones. At this point, this stack, that's when we start getting a little specific. It's either A, I believe, overrated, which I still use because obviously all this, I wouldn't own it if I didn't use it, or B, there's just not much benefit you can really get out of it, at least for me specifically. But if I were to limit it, because also this stuff, you know, some of it is not cheap. Some of it's $10, but other stuff can go up to 100. If you're limited on funds, priority stack, secondary stack. Let's get into it. Number 1, it's an often overlooked supportive gear, but I definitely believe anyone can benefit from it because the whole point behind supportive gear, A, keep you safe, B, possibly help you lift more weight. Chalk. A lot of gyms, they don't allow powder chalk because obviously it makes a mess and they want to be cleaning up after yourself. If you're an adult, you should be able to clean after yourself. Liquid chalk doesn't leave anything behind. No residue, nothing. Gets the job done. Dries your hands. Oftentimes, this will really come into play when it comes to pulling motions. Deadlifts, rows, pull downs, whatever it may be. If you're yanking on the weight, you don't want your palms sweaty. Dry them up, it will help you. No matter who you are, you can benefit from this. If you're a beginner, the goal is 10 reps, but you can only get 8 because it's hot in there and your hands are sweaty. Okay, throw in some liquid chalk. No big deal. So this one I have absolutely no problem with anyone using it. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, dry up your hands, get more reps done. No big deal. A weightlifting belt. If I were to limit everything down to just one piece of supportive gear, it's gonna be this. It is the most common. It's got the most versatility. We see different kinds of belts being made. This is the kind that I have. It's the thick 4-inch powerlifting belt that you see a lot of the heavier lifters using. I know there's some belts that, especially maybe some of the younger guys have, like the high schoolers, where it's thick in the back but then it tapers and it's pretty thin in the front. I used to have one of those when I was in high school, but as I started lifting a little heavier, I needed to upgrade to these. I see absolutely nothing wrong with using a weightlifting belt. However, I do see something wrong if you're using it for every set of every exercise, especially for those sets and exercises where you're not even going heavy and it's not even difficult enough to warrant needing this in the first place. So for all these pieces of equipment, I want to be explaining why you need them or why you should be using it, but what are some underlying reasons or concerns that you should be addressing prior to that. Intra-abdominal pressure, tension, bracing, getting this area stronger, that should be the priority. Afterwards, then you can think about using this. We got to breathe and brace first. If you're working on your warm-up sets, you shouldn't be having to use a belt. Me, when I squat, I don't throw on a belt until I'm in the 300s and 400s. If I'm squatting 1, 2, sometimes even up to 3 plates, I won't be needing a belt by then. I'm only going to be needing a belt if I'm in the mid to high 300s or actually squatting in the low 400s. Warm-up sets should never be difficult enough to even warrant needing this. And even that, you don't always need a belt. If you're handling heavier weights, you should be able to breathe and brace properly. I'm talking about breathing into your stomach, not your chest. And you're breathing your stomach is if it looks like you're fat afterwards. If I breathe into my chest inflates. But if I breathe into my stomach looks like it's popping out. It looks like I'm fat now. Okay, breathe into your stomach. Hold the air in your stomach and then flex, brace like someone's about to punch you in the stomach. Keep that nice and hard. Breathe in, brace. That's that tension. That's what we need. Every set you should be bracing, create that intra-abdominal pressure, that tension built up right here, stabilizing all this, and then go ahead and do whatever lift you're doing, a squat, a deadlift, whatever it may be. Now, once you get to your heavier sets, if you need, then go ahead and throw on a belt. It's just for a little bit extra added support. If you can properly breathe and brace, you're good, you're stable. But once you start getting into those heavier loads, 80% of your 1 rep max and above, that's when I believe, okay, fine, it's acceptable for you to use this belt. Once you throw it on, continue to breathe and brace. Essentially, now that you have the belt, when you breathe into your stomach, it should feel like your sides right here are expanding and pushing up against the belt, and then flex those abs like someone's about to punch you. Hold that pressure, squat up and down, deadlift up, whatever exercise you're doing, you'll be good to go. Nothing wrong with using this, but know how to properly breathe and brace prior to this. Don't use this for all your sets. Only use it for the heavy top sets on those big compound movements. You shouldn't be having to use a belt to do lateral raises, to do curls, to do tricep push-downs, to do hamstring curls. Come on now. Use it for the big compounds, heavy squatting, benching, deadlifting, heavy rowing, big compound movements, heavy weights being moved. That's when this will be appropriate. Sleeves. I am a huge proponent of sleeves. Everyone thinks that it helps you lift more weight. I'm kind of mixed on that. The sleeves that I have, they're just tight enough to where I feel support in my knee, but I don't feel that they're tight enough at all to even add weight to my squat or whatever exercise I'm doing. So I got knee sleeves, so that's for squats obviously, and I got elbow sleeves, that's for my benching or my pressing movements. I don't feel like they add anything. I know a lot of power lifters, they downsize, so they get a size that's a little too small, a little too tight, so that way it adds 5, maybe 10 pounds to their lifts. I'm not doing it for that. I'm simply throwing on knee sleeves for the sake of preserving my knees for long-term results. I want to be able to lift for decades. I'm barely 24 right now. Okay, think about how many guys were in great shape when they were in high school, college, early 20s, and then once they got into the 30s, 40s, started having kids, other priorities, and they just did away with their fitness or just improper lifting when they're younger, and now they can no longer lift, they're out of shape, or they say, I got a bad knee. I don't want that. I want to be able to push myself as hard as I can with my workouts right now, but I want to continue to be able to push myself for more decades to come. So I'm simply throwing these on as more of a long long-term crutch, long-term aid, just to preserve my knees. Because like I said, I don't really feel like these add anything. If they were maybe a size smaller, okay, they might be a little too tight where it feels like a spring. They might add 5-10 pounds at most to my squat, but I'm simply doing it just to preserve my knees in the long term. It can't hurt. I want to be sure I have healthy knees. Even to right now, no knee pain, no nothing, I'm good. Elbow sleeves. This one is especially for injury prevention. They don't add any pounds to any of my pressing movements, but I definitely feel the compression and I feel the safety around my elbows. My elbows hurt pretty frequently, I will say that. I have good knees. Elbows, especially with pressing movements, I do feel like I gotta warm them up a little extra, especially during those winter months. The home gym is outdoors. I need a little bit extra warmth. I need a little bit extra compression. So I definitely do feel the benefits with these, especially during the cold months when I'm working out, 7 a.m. workouts, 30, 40 degree weather. Time and place for these. Think about this as long-term preventative care. Adding weight, it depends on the size, but I feel everyone can benefit from these. I'm still going full ranges of motion on all of my movements. I'm still going all the way down with my squats. I'm still going all the way down with my benching. So it's not like I'm only doing half reps, or it's not like I'm using every little piece right here for added gains. I'm still doing everything, all lower body exercises, all pressing motions exactly as I should. It doesn't hurt to add these on. They're comfortable. I can keep them on for my entire workout. Even then, when I squat, I don't throw these on until I hit at least 3 plates, 315. These, I don't throw them on until I hit 225. And I only wear them during my squatting motions. So barbell back squat, hack squats, leg press. Those are the only 3 exercises where I throw these on. If I'm doing leg extensions, I'm doing lunges, anything else lower body, I do not wear these. These, I only use them for any type of heavy pressing. Benching, whether it be flat incline, or shoulder pressing, whether it be a barbell or a dumbbell. Other than that, the rest of the workout, I take them off because I still want to build up my natural knee strength, my natural elbow strength. So same thing like the belt, only using it during those top sets, looking out for my long-term health. Now, moving over to this pile over here. To say that it's overrated, I got my reasons for it. To say that you don't need them at all, I definitely have my reasons for it too. I still have them. I spend good money on them, so obviously I'm going to utilize them, but they have their time and place. Starting off, Olympic weightlifting shoes. I got them, I tried them out. I'm going to get my money's worth, so I'm going to continue using them, even though I'm telling you there is absolutely no reason why you should rely on these in the first place. I have videos of me squatting in Converse, flat sole shoe, as flat as it gets with the shoe on. I'm hitting depth, my heels are not coming off the ground. I got videos of me squatting in these shoes. I'm hitting depth, my heels are not coming off the ground. I spent a tremendous amount of time prioritizing my flexibility and my mobility, specifically in the ankle region. I'm stretching on my calves every day, so that way I wouldn't have to rely on these. I can squat heavy in Converse, I can squat heavy in these. I just got them to try them out. It's one of those things where you get to a certain point, I'm gonna look for every little advantage I can get. I'm gonna look for every little thing that's just gonna add 5, maybe 10 more pounds on my squat. This was one of them, just having a little bit of a heel elevation. All it is for is if you're someone with limited ankle mobility, when you squat low enough, it gets to a point where your heel starts coming off the ground. Some people, they slide 2.5 or 5 pound plates or 10 pound plates underneath their heels to give them that little elevation. Some people wear the shoes that already have the elevated heel. Again, not mandatory. Spend the right amount of time stretching your ankles, specifically stretch out those calves so you wouldn't have this problem in the first place. Even then, if you want to continue to wear them, by all means, go for it. I personally still wear these, but I have absolutely no problem with my ankle mobility. I stretch my calves every day. I could hit depth without it. It's just one of those things where if you have it, you used it, all right, fine, go for it. It's not gonna hurt you. Just this will technically be a band-aid to cover your limited ankle mobility. Don't use it as a cure. Still address the underlying issue, which is mobility issues. Stretch every day. Next, knee wraps. Whereas in the knee sleeves, I'm doing it for long-term preventative care to, preserve my knees because I want to be able to squat heavy for years to come. I don't want to be that old guy and says, oh, I can't squat because my knee. No. These don't add any weight. It's just to protect it so I can squat for, again, 20, 30, 40 years to come. Knee wraps, on the other hand, these will add pounds to your lift. I don't train with these year round. I only train with these for one training cycle out of the year. And typically my training cycles will vary anywhere between 8 to 16 weeks. I will do one training cycle a year, if that, if I want to, with these. The reason why is because these will add pounds to your lift. My record, my PR, I should say, on a squat with the sleeve is 365. My PR in reps, 415. So it goes to show you, it will add a significant amount of pounds to your squat. You can't use these for anything else other than squatting motions. But they hurt. The way you wrap them, essentially you're making a cast or like a tourniquet around your knee. You have to put them on so tight. It's gonna rub up against the skin. If you're a guy, you got leg hair, it will pull on it. You're not gonna be able to get high reps. The moment you're done with the squat, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is just take it off because you can't even feel your calf. It's cutting off the blood flow. A lot goes into this just to add a couple extra pounds to your lift. So that's why I say it's overrated. Unless you actually like this type of lifting, which I personally do, that's why I have them, then go for it. But for the general population, you can get just as good leg development using sleeves. You can hit good numbers in sleeves. This is a very niche type of squatting style. If you like it, go for it. Mandatory? No, it's not very common. You go to the gym, almost everyone has knee sleeves. It's not often you see these. Next, continuing on with the wraps. Wrist wraps. I might catch some heat with this one. I know a lot of you love using wrist wraps. I understand the reason for it. When you're benching, the last thing you want to do is, oh no, your wrist went back because of how heavy the weight is. You want to keep those wrists straight. You want to stack the joints. Wrist wraps will help with that. You're making a cast around it to keep your wrists from going back. The only reason why I say these are overrated is because for me, when I'm bench, I really don't feel I have that issue. I really don't feel that my wrists go back. So I have videos of me benching heavy weight without wrist wraps. I have videos of me benching the same amount of heavy weight with them. Do I feel a difference? Not really. It's one of those things where I have them. Wrist wraps are super cheap compared to all this other stuff. Even a good pair is not that much. A good pair could be maybe at most 20 bucks, if that. I don't know. It's been a while since I got it, so I don't know what the prices are. But I got in the cheap yellow ones from Gold's Gym at Walmart for $10. These, I literally found them in the gym. And even then, they're hard binger. They sell them at Big Five. I really doubt they're more than 20 bucks. They're super cheap. So it's one of those things where it doesn't hurt to have them. If I want to throw them on, go for it. If I go to the gym and I forget them, it's not going to affect my benching in any way. But I know many of you do have the issue of wrist bending back. Okay, go for it. When you squat and your wrists are bending back and you got to keep it straight, okay, throw them on. This is very unique from person to person if you need it. I just so happen to be a person where I don't feel the need for it. Am I still going to use them? Yes. Should you? Only if you need to, go for it. It's personal preference. But again, similar to all the other lifts, only use it on the heavy sets. Now we have straps. They have their time in place. Understand when to use them, why you're using them. If you have an issue of grip strength, and that's your limiting factor for certain exercises, that's gonna be a big one. Certain exercises, all right, by all means, use them. I got two different kinds here. I got the traditional old school ones where it's an actual strap that you gotta wrap around the bar. I personally prefer these. You know, you wrap around the bar, I get it, drop them, you're good. I also have the newer style, which I've been seeing a lot of, you know, these younger folk using the figure 8 straps. I got them just to try them out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan. Just something about them seems uncomfortable. It is a lot easier to get yourself around the bar using these, that without a doubt. But just something about them just doesn't feel right. I feel like it's pulling on one side of my wrist more than the other, whereas in these, I feel even distribution of pressure across my entire wrist. So I'm just so used to these, so I'm just gonna continue sticking with these. But therefore, if you have the lacking problem of grip strength, you don't got strong hands, you're gonna be letting go of the weight. Deadlifts is a big one. Keep in mind, if you're gonna be competing in powerlifting or anywhere where they test a deadlift, you gotta make sure, do they allow straps in competition? Because if you're spending your entire training cycle only using these, but once you get to competition, you're not allowed to use them, oh, there's gonna be a good chance you're not gonna be able to lift the same amount of weight. I always do all of my deadlifts without straps. I also have a strong suit of the deadlift. I already said deadlift is my strongest lift. Grip strength is my strong suit. I was never the strongest in squat. I was never the strongest in bench press. I was never even the strongest in deadlift. Deadlift is my personal best lift, but I was never the #1 deadlifter in high school, college, whatever it may be. But grip strength, I was always #1. I've always had strong hands, so I can get away with deadlifting heavy weights in the 400s. No problem. I could even hold the weight. Fingers aren't opening up. Nothing's budging. My hands have always been strong because I spent so many years not having to rely on these. However, afterwards, once I go into my back workouts, my lat pull downs, my rowing, I will throw these on because I'm trying to target the lats. All right, I'm trying to row. And sometimes the reason why I can't get more reps, it's not because my lats are giving out, it's because my forearms and my hands are just so tired from the deadlifts I did before that they start opening up. Your forearms are nowhere near the strength of your lats. So obviously they're gonna give out a lot quicker. And when it comes to rowing motions, the reason why you're doing them is because to build up your lats. Okay, don't let other limiting factors keep you from developing the bigger muscle groups even more so. So any type of rowing, any type of pull down, all my back workouts, I will be using straps. Now the argument is work on your grip strength. Okay, I have no problem with you using these on back day, on deadlift, whatever, but also try to make an attempt to work your grip strength. So there you have it, everyone. Various pieces of supportive gear. Again, I'm telling you, I personally use all of this stuff. But there's some that I use more, which I believe are more beneficial that everyone can use. And there's other things that I believe are overrated or just very niche down, very specific from person to person. If you have the money, go for it, buy them. But is it necessary? Absolutely not. Go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. And also comment down below any other video suggestions you may have for me, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And then Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.